Ladies and gents, welcome. We are here once again. No podcast, no awards. We're back with what we know and love, some Call of Duty action. And of course, I've got the man who is now known as Kobe Bryant. How you doing, Pabs? You all good?
Yeah, way too hairy for me. I'm good and absolutely looking forward to some Call of Duty. And when you sent the message today, I got a little bit of squeaky bum. I was like, "Oh, is it Val? Are we starting early on the Val front?" I was like tentatively like, "Is it COD?" And you were like, "Yeah, boy." I was like, "Let's go."
Yeah,
The
no.
comfort zone returns.
Yeah, no Valorant just yet. I still got to sort out all the production stuff on the back side of that, so we'll have to hopefully get that done. But yeah, if you guys are interested in Val, that will be coming very shortly to the channel as well, with the AVG run by Mr. Beanroll himself, I do believe. So yeah, everyone knows what Bean can produce, and hopefully we'll get some good Valorant action on the screen. But we are here with unFOURtunate versus Detri Hackers in the playoffs of the GCA Championships winners round 1. For anyone who wants to look at what the teams have in store for us, Pabs, we've got a very juicy tie with a lot of good players on display.
Very juicy. Yeah, I'm loving this little 8-man right now. I mean, there's nothing better. Don't get me wrong. We both love casting over some new talent, but when you get a couple of eight players like this together in one game, I mean, it's a thing of beauty. And I've already planted my flag firmly. So yeah, I'm going to put you right on the spot right now and go, well, how do you think this game's going to play out?
Well, I'm hoping that it will play out in a way that sees a game 5 at least. I think across the board here we've got a wide variety of players that some we've seen more recently than others. Obviously, Danny G casting all the way back in towards Cold War. Remember on that Esports Wales roster, and then you got the likes of Aqua and Alfie, who we see a lot. Scooty, who we haven't really seen a huge amount of in this COD. The same with Dave as well. And then they're coming up against players that are very well established on this game in Jackson, Ezro, and Tay. So it's a juicy game. And
since Scooty and Scotty split up, we just haven't cast over either of them.
No, it definitely feels as though they've gone their distant ways, and it's just not been the same. It's just not been the same. No. We want the Sensei dynasty back. But for anyone who is also looking at maps, we've got a triple Berlin sandwiched in between 2 Tuscans, so not necessarily a cracked SMG's heaven. I'm sure Dave will absolutely love this set of maps. But we'll
the old triple whopper.
Yeah, so but I mean, we've called it out before. Even in the control, Pablo, Berlin is quite fast-paced. It's not necessarily the slowest map when it comes to it, and especially as you go up the ranks in Call of Duty and you start to approach these players who are like pushing top 32, top 16, the pace of the game, regardless of the map, is always that little bit faster.
Yeah, 100%. I think Berlin control, obviously out of the controls, is just a little bit more hectic because, I mean, as an attacking perspective, both zones are eminently capturable, and that just makes it more exciting. I think it's a better control map than the other two, especially from that attacking perspective. And I guess that translates over to the viewer's perspective as well, because you don't want to see that kind of war of attrition going over towards B on Tuscan or Gavutu. A Berlin hardpoint, I mean, the pace is still fairly there. It just obviously offers the opportunity for the team that potentially isn't doing as well to chalk a hill and get reset up, unlike maybe Bocage or something. But yeah, this is still, probably, I mean, outside of it being maybe a gav somewhere and at the beginning or end, this is probably the slowest map set that we could possibly ask for, and it's still not that slow.
Yeah, and so we do have everyone in the lobby. We are ready to go for map number 1, and I've just seen that Danny G is not going to be Danny G on the screen. He's going to be Carling Shotzi. So great name there from Danny, who we saw him on the tinnies when it came to the LAN, and we're going to see him on the tinnies once again. So we should be getting ready to go very shortly for map number 1. But we're already seeing Mr. Smudge as well. Who Smudge, are you on the Katana roster in the bracket? I will actually put the bracket on the screen actually while we wait. I'm pretty sure that Katana Abyss roster is Smudge's team, who again are very strong. We're obviously still yet to see from a couple of the teams, and obviously Milka's the team that won it last time. Let me just quickly let Hams know I'm ready. Yeah, so Milka's won it last time. Ricochet Ultra, who came second last time, we're pretty much in a position where we know they're a good team. I think their roster is changed with a big move around of players, but that Ricochet Ultra team is looking like kind of like a middle ground team in a league now this time round with the amount of talent that we've got in it. It feels as though every single time a league or playoff bracket looks good, we go on to the next season and it looks even better. So we're in a position again where we're just blessed all the time. It seems.
Yeah, I think it did, as the season obviously has progressed, we've seen tighter and tighter teams, and And that is exactly what's happened here. But this is going to be a lot of fun to cast over. I'm literally just looking through now to see if that Abyss roster has got Smudge on, but I can't see anything.
It's Smudge 808, who obviously was very, very good on that Ricochet Ultra roster, Cobra, and then Sabbath. So, yeah, not a bad team. Not a bad team.
Yeah, not too shabby whatsoever. But again, I'm loving the Detri Hackers logo now that they're kind of like solid. That's a thing of beauty right there. I'm not going too much for the unfortunate. Right there, that's a bit solid. Is that a Cookie Monster?
That was, I believe it was Flower and V that actually put that logo together themselves on the unfortunate roster. So shout out to those guys for putting that one together. But we are now in towards our map number 1 here in winners round 1 between Detri Hackers and Unfortunate. And yeah, not a bad middle ground map to get us started on this one, Pablo, in a very traditional Tuscan style.
No, it's exactly what you want, just to see where the boys are up to against each other, and obviously you're going to get an idea potentially who's got that strength. And I mean, that first rotation really isn't going to tell us that. Obviously, P1, you start on that preferred church. I'd guess you're going to get that access almost immediately. Detri Hackers out the blocks, though, manages to get a few points, but unfortunately are going to bite straight back with a nice bit of P1 control. You can see number 3 there. Jackson just tried to push through mid, but was cut down there by a beautiful bit of camping. And it is going to be the Detri Hackers just trying to break in. A bit of work, Major, for Scooty early doors to just try and maintain control and just get themselves a healthy early lead.
Yeah, decent 20-point difference there or thereabouts, but we can see that Jackson and his boys are going to start pushing through, and already Ezro's ready. Keeping an eye on those players down the back. Aqua's going to have absolutely no idea that he's here. He's going to spot another one out the back as well, and nice work there from Ezra. We've seen what he was able to do on that Arise roster, and he's managed to chew through 3 players to pretty much lock down the backside of P2, so really clean work from him, and hopefully his team now going to look to try and get a decent chunk of time from it.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful play right there, and it served them quite well despite that push from the Unfortunates from the front. It is going to be the Detri Hackers who manage to get a little bit of control, but it's a straight fight back, as we saw number 8 Scooty again being that catalyst at the front. But it just shows you, Major, just how important that both back spawns are, as the boys from Detri Hackers are able to bite back despite Tay only being on a 2 and 7. It's a slow start for him, but regardless, it is going to be about halfway to the scoreline of the Unfortunates, who've got themselves almost double of the points right now. And great work coming out of Alfie's 3 and 5 right now, but Aquilini, as you would expect, Big Ham's 5 and 5. Still early doors, but Major, one name to look out for really early on for those who maybe not seen him play as much is Senor Dave, someone who can be quite prolific in the game.
Yeah, not a bad player is Dave, but if anyone wants to slip me a $5, I'll drop you a horrific clip of him where he gets absolutely spat on. But anyways, he's currently starting off very well in this one. No objective time though, Dave. I think he needs to have words with his teammates about that one, but already now going to be around a 10-second deficit that they're going to look to try and claw out here, and unfortunately they're pretty much locked into position. There's another kill that comes through, and that is a very blue kill feed in favour of Unfortunate. It looks as though Jackson is going to be that man out the back to try and lock down potentially that tile side spawn. The pinch is potentially going to come through as well from a couple of angles, but it looks as though he's just going to play this patiently, just not allow anyone else that opportunity to reinforce that man on the hill. Alfie is going to get taken down, so there's one pick. There's going to be 2 players, though, coming from fire. Tay's going to have a job of mopping up a couple of them. There's one for him. Can't get the second, though. Scooty going to hold strong, and it looks as though this has been a pretty prolific P3 by the standards, Paolo, which we're used to seeing go quite back and forth.
Yeah, they did a really good job. They just, pre-fired really nicely and got themselves a couple of picks. I think that kind of like doubling up in fire really helped them. They were able to get a pretty effective kill without really losing a player, and that allowed them to then, defend their next attack really well. You can already see them set up very nicely. And right now, between Aquilini and Dave, this has been something of a slaughter in terms of kills. Only the Carlin, Shotzi, and Danny G right there, 10 and 8, who's managing to drop any numbers. But again, Tay, on the struggle bus, we've highlighted them before, 4 and 13, about to approach nearly quadruple negative, and only 18 seconds. It is early doors, though. But Major, one thing is to say is that kill feed's been almost exclusively purple from the outset.
Yeah, it's a very one-sided affair so far in the middle portion of this one. We'll see if Detri Hackers can try and pull themselves back into it. As mentioned, Tay struggling at the moment. Scooty's going to come back with a couple of kills, and it looks as though Danny's going to get tagged up by quite a few bullets here, courtesy of Aqua. They are still on the hill, and they're still soaking up time as well. And already you can see that Alfie is going to have a big gunfight round the back, potentially fighting for spawns. He's going to get some good timing onto Ezro, so there's one for Alfie, looking for a second potentially onto Jackson, but it's still going to get traded out. Dave, though, will be there to mop up the pieces. You can see Dave, again, himself is going to go round the back, try and play it patiently. Meanwhile, Jackson with a one-on-one in the hill, which he is able to win, but now they're just going to have to try and keep an eye on these spawns and dictate which side they're going to want to try and push from.
Yeah, nice trade there over towards Tiles, but it is going to be Ezra looking to just shake things up a little bit. He's not going to get dealt with. A beautiful three-piece right there, and that's going to give the Detri Hackers that little bit of control in P5, which they haven't had in the previous handful of hills. They're going to bring this back to around in about 50 seconds. They do start to get a few more kills though, Major, and that's really been the thing that they've been lacking in that first rotation. And now it's looking very difficult for those purple arrows to try and break in, but it is going to be kill by kill, and that is going to be a nice two-piece with the nade coming in. Aquilini is going to drop as well. So nice little hold from Detri Hackers. But again, they have been broken and Major. This has been the kind of like way of that first rotation, as they're just not able to hold on to hills and not really very effective at breaking them down. So they're going to have to make this second rotation a little bit more competitive and just challenge a little bit more effectively. But I mean, can you do it when Dave's approaching 20 kills already?
Yeah, Dave is definitely having his way at the moment, and on the flip side, Tay is still really struggling. So if he can try and pull his finger out, maybe this might be a much closer game that we've got here in map number 1, as nades and tacticals again are just going to get exchanged in the early portions of it. You can see that, I was going to say Shotzi, but it is Danny G on a couple of beers who's going to manage to win one gunfight, but they are still on the hill at the moment, unfortunate. Detri Hackers need to try and get them off the point. There's one for Danny. Can he get the second on Alfie? Yes, he can. Nice work
Danny
from
G.
Danny. Aqua's going to look on just to try and get the contest, just to try and wait for his teammates to maybe reinforce him, but it will be actually... Never mind, I was going to say he's going to get shot in the side, but he's not. His teammate there in Scooty does a really good job of keeping him alive, and Hams just flies straight over the top rope there to grab that kill. And it's now going to be, again, another 60-point lead, which Detri Hackers are going to have to look to try and claw back, this time with the help of the P2.
Yeah, the sheer amount of work that Detri Hackers are having to do just to get any time at all just tells you how strong the unfortunates are. They're not just able to get these kills, but they're able to turn it into efficient time. This is a nice play by Taze. He manages to get that kill on Aqua in transition, and that's just going to give the boys from Detri Hackers their first opportunity, really, to have a free build, a kind of free defense at this hill. It is going to be number 3 all on his lonesome right now. He is going to get that support in. Dave around the back, though, able to get that. And Major, it's a nice juxtaposition between the approach from Detri Hackers in that first rotation where they tried to ensure back spawns. Well, unfortunates just don't seem to care. It just looks like they're quite happy to just try and get onto the hill and fight it kind of right at the front. So totally different approaches towards the same hill, but right now it's proven, you know, profitable for the unfortunates with around about 61-point lead.
Yeah, and Dave, at the moment, it feels as though he's just red dot hunting. Every single time somebody fires a bullet, Dave is straight onto them, and another kill means that Alfie is now going to be on 5 in a row. He's going to desperately try and keep his head down as Dave manages to help him stay alive. But now this next hill is probably do or die here for Detri Hackers. We've seen unfortunate so many times just punch their way into these hills, and now Detri Hackers have to lock themselves in place. They have to try and at least grab, I would say, about 40 worth of points here out of the 60 on the cards. Oh, shots there from Scooty as he just flies around and rips Danny straight off the heady. They're now going to look to try and flood out the back. Dave has got out the back. I don't think they realise that Jackson is all the way in this back building, though. Dave, though, going on the hunt, and he gets the second as well. Yet again, the young maestro doing what he does on console. Would you, Adam and Eve?
Oh my days. I mean, can you recover psychologically as a player from getting absolutely bodied by Scooty like that? Was a disgusting kill. 24 kills, gone largely under the radar. Apologies, Scooty, for not bringing you up sooner with a nice kill KD like that. In 57 seconds is not a bad chunk of change to have in the back pocket as well. They breached the 200 mark. 1, 2, 3 for Detri Hackers. Just really not cutting it at the minute, and they're falling foul potentially of a 100-point club on a Tuscan hard point. You would expect it, Major, them to be a lot more competitive. Maybe this church hill is going to turn things round for them. Yeah,
they need to get the initial engagement. So Danny's going to win one. Nice reads onto Alfie to get the second as well from Danny. Locking down his lanes. He needs 2 and 3 in quick succession there from Danny G. Scooty is going to reply with 2 of his own. There's going to be another couple of kills. Meanwhile, over towards this Archer's side, which is just going to stop Unfortunate from throwing themselves at the hill and maybe
they need someone
push
on
themselves ever closer. But look at Aqua, he's going all the way up top. He has been hit with a stun, so they do know he's here. But now he's going to look to try and play the pinch here. Aqua with 1, Aqua with 2. They're falling by the wayside, looking for the third. And there it is. Hams just playing the smart route, taking his time, mopping them all up. And now this is looking dangerous.
H2O! That was unbelievable from Aqua, 18 and 19, but he's got himself a solid 50 seconds. He reads the game so well at times. But Detri Hackers, again, you know, they lose out on 10 or 15 seconds at time just by not getting onto the hill. And this is going to force them again to fight for scrap time. And at this late stage in the game, is it really going to be enough? Now, they had a pretty accomplished P5, but this time round, this is going to come down to them having to have a repeat, but just trying to transition back from this into P1. Tay last time was able to get the picks in transition, but this is going to be a flood through the front doors from the boys in purple, and we can see, Major, this is already a war of attrition on P5.
Yeah, Ezro has just blasted so many of them there as another kill comes through. This time, though, in favour of unFOURtunate. Tay's going to reply with one. He's struggled so far, but these might be some really important kills if he can maybe get a couple more. But look at those blue arrows again. Aqua's going to come through the bottom. Do they make the read? Jackson, though, smart move, manages to grab one. They're still looking to try and flood from this tiles side, are unFOURtunate, and with 25 seconds remaining, all they've got to do is just really make a bit of a mess of this one. And if they can make it scrappy, it's probably going to benefit them. Dave again with his 30-second kill. What the hard point so far? 33, almost 34 as well. And now Ezro's got us go absolutely huge on the hill. He can't manage it. There's only 5 seconds left, and now they've got the danger of pushing this one at a time. They can't seem to get the players off the hill. I think map 1 is done, and it is. It's going to be unFOURtunate that managed to take it in a solid fashion. 250 to 166, and a good performance from those lads.
I mean, you've got to go, you know, rewind that game back. I mean, it's a brilliant performance from unFOURtunate with some individual performances to make note of, including Dave and Scooty putting up big numbers. But the approach from unFOURtunate towards each hill, now we just look at the statistics, you see 23 non-traded kills, 3,670 damage, quite similar to one of the players over on Detri Hackers. But you've got to look at that approach towards different kills between those two teams. You know, you look at P2, Detri Hackers obsessed with getting those back spawns when the unFOURtunate's just happy to punch from the front. They managed to retain control without getting those back spawns. And then you take P5 as well. Again, very similar scenario where they're just happy to kind of argue the point from the hill. But then you take Churchill P4. unFOURtunate's obsessed with getting that back spawn because it's more useful, it's more vital. That transition to church is a lot shorter, unlike maybe P2 where you've still got quite a distance to cover in comparison to where you're kind of out your opposition spawn over towards maybe tiles or out towards the middle of the map. So yeah, interesting to see that little bit more experience, and that you know that the now's coming out of players like Aquilini, like Scooty, just playing that little role. And that was 250 to 165 is quite the slap on Tuscan, and 1-0 well deserved.
Yeah, so the boys of Detri Hackers are going to look to try and just kind of clean out their system, really. It was a bit of a rough one, especially there for Tay, who did kind of struggle just to kind of get some numbers on the board. And fundamentally, when you come up against a team of 4 that unFOURtunate have got, it's just going to be very brutal if you're not getting kills. We saw, especially in the early stages, Dave was just kind of running right. He did pretty much throughout the entirety of the game. You mentioned, I believe, it was 23 untraded kills coming through from Dave, and the rest of the lads were pretty much pulling their weight as well. So I think if you're a Detri Hackers fan now, you're going to look towards those lads to really kind of regain here on the search again. It's a slower paced map, it's a slower paced game mode. It's one where you can try and play for picks. Danny had a good map in that one as well. He was kind of getting the picks that he needed to allow those players to get in and around the hill. It just felt as though when it was getting messy in some of those hills, the trades just felt a little bit more clean from unFOURtunate. They just felt as though when one man dropped, there was at least someone there to make the trade. Whereas Detri Hackers, at times we saw it, especially in the kill feed, it was very, very blue, blue, blue for a large period of it, especially in the middle portion of the hard point.
Unbelievably so. And again, that just comes down and it shows you why there's 23 non-traded kills from one player, because the support isn't there. So a lot of responsibility being left on the shoulders of individuals from the Hacker boys, and that really hasn't come to fruition for them. They just, you know, and you shouted it yourself, call out towards the end, you know, they are just kind of steaming into the hill. Now obviously that happens at the end, you know, when you're trying to kind of like just, you know, get a little bit of time back, you're trying to raid that final hill. But it just from the start, they didn't seem to be working effectively as a team. Now you take an example of maybe P5, you would see players stunning from low and allowing the players on tiles to get the kills on the stunned players. So a nice bit of teamwork allows that unFOURtunate to go into this Berlin search and destroy one to the good. The pace is going to come down somewhat to give the boys from Detri Hackers an opportunity maybe to even the score right back up.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how this one unfolds, and while we are loading in, I can actually peep a sniper out of someone. I'll have to confirm who it is. So we haven't seen this in a while, and it is going to be on the side of Detri Hackers that's actually rocking the sniper. So we'll have to wait and see who that is. But yeah, map 2 going to be a really important one for the boys of Detri Hackers, and we'll see how they get on in this one. But I suppose again, we look to kind of the pivotal players in that map one, you're looking for almost repeat performances, really. If you're unfortunate, Pablo, you're kind of looking again to Dave to put up some big numbers, and the rest of the boys. I mean, Scooty hasn't really played the game. I know Hams hasn't played the game as much as other players do, but these lads just seem to perform when they need to, really. So Detri Hackers are going to have to really come with something special in this map number 2, just to make sure that it's not going to be a very bleak looking possibility for them.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, obviously, the likes of Aqua and likes of Alfie haven't been superbly active in some of the later leagues. And so it's a good opportunity to just see them flex their muscles a bit and remind everyone just how good they can be. It is going to be a first blood going the way of unfortunate to believe, but it is going to be a straight back trade as Aqua does fall. And they're going to give themselves that one-man advantage major, a 3v2, as we do see Scooty also drop. Probably not the most ideal game mode for a respawn god like Scooty.
Yeah, so Dave is going to look to try and retrieve the bomb. There is going to be Jackson, though, just inside sight.
Has he not got
Bomb
ninja
will
on?
be retrieved. I don't think he does. Dave does what Dave wants. Sometimes he just goes stomping around. So we'll have to see whether Alfie's going to check this left side corner, because that man is going to be ready and waiting. Jackson is playing this incredibly patiently. It feels as though he's being trolled religiously by Alfie, who isn't actually going to get the kill, but he is meanwhile going to put some bullets straight into the skull of Dave. And now Alfie desperately trying to run away. Jackson does finally get his revenge after a hell of a lot of trolling, it feels as though, as Alan dropping the sub. Thank you very much.
I was like, is Alfie Mead working for Amazon now? Is he? That's what they seem like. They
felt like he
knock
was
on the door.
UPS smacking on the door, wasn't it?
But it is going to be a pretty comfortable win in the end for the Detri Hackers. Going to go one round to the good, and a nice bit of patient play despite the harsh baiting from Alfie Mead. They're giving us a little bit of entertainment in a Berlin S&D, but it is an opportunity for the Unfortunates to fire back. I don't think anyone so far on the Unfortunates rocking the sniper, so nice conventional kind of vanilla approach. Jackson is going to try and get a little bit of information about players crossing over towards the bomb site, and there's going to see that fight already go down as Alfie looks to get some shots in. Tay just taking that corner, and he is going to just try and feel out that player, and that could potentially be a nice nade kill. But Rebecca, I can only see Rebecca. Me webcam's in the way, and I literally just like, Rebecca just killed Tay. What the hell's Rebecca? But it is going to be Alfie Mead with the first blood, as we do see Shotty and Tay both fall.
Yeah, and obviously after Jackson managed to get an ace in that first round, which we need to highlight there. Really good work from him. It now sees him slightly outnumbered in a 2 versus 4 alongside Ezra. He will spot Aqua on that outer lane, but he's so isolated over here. And you can see, meanwhile, over towards the B site, which it looks as though they might try and take this bomb to. Dave is already going to be there. Just roaming, waiting for that player to maybe transition over. I think the call maybe is going to be there. That one man is maybe in mid. I don't know if Ezra has been spotted up towards the top of third, but you do think now they're surely going to make the play. And Dave's going to go on the man on the bomb, and all of a sudden Ezra finds himself last man up. Needs a 1 versus 4 here. They are already on the defuse here. Dave's just going for it. He will take the man off the bomb, though. Ezra's going to buy himself just a little bit of a window to maybe try and clear off a couple more players. You can see they're racing out the back. Ezra is not going to win the second, though. They will get the kill in the form from Alfie, and Scooty will get that bomb defused to put them 2-0 up.
I'm pretty certain Jackson's, in their shows here, like, why couldn't you just kill all 4 of them? I mean, I just did it, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. Is unfortunate. It's able to just get the information on that player, and you could see those arrows starting to pinch in, and finally that kill does come by way of Mr. Alfie X Rebecca, and it is going to be tied or parity restored for the Unfortunates. And Detri Hackers again going to need to try and, bar this little psychological barrier and try and push through. They are going to be on the defensive side, so I guess you could almost argue advantage back in their court. But Major, we're going to have to look to see a little bit more coming out of Tay and Shotzi so far. Obviously, only Scooty on the donut for Unfortunate, and I know it is early doors, but you would expect, every player at least to potentially have at least getting a positive interaction right now. Shotzi and Tay just on the donut themselves.
Yeah, nice work there from Ezra. There's going to be a really quick flank coming through from Dave all the way around the back. He has managed to get in and around a few players, but he's going to have to try and make the play soon because they know that Aqua's inside the site. Dave's desperately going to try and come over to reinforce him, but Ezra's going to spot him. Ezra bags the second as well, and Detri Hackers with a really clean round in response to put them back in the lead 2-1, and Ezra just mopping up the pieces there. They went for the play here, but they just managed to shut them down one at a time.
Yeah, one of the drawbacks, I guess, to that A bomb site control is if you do get someone on the flank, they're going to need to be as quick as possible because you're going to need that support, especially when you've got players kind of spread as the Detri Hackers were. It was obviously quite a compact defense. So big moment right there. We see Shotty get off the mark again. Tay, the only player not off the mark, along with Scooty. So Big opportunity for unFOURtunate to try and bite back a little bit again. You know, it's a weird one. We expect them to do well in Respawn, but really we've got to be looking to Detri Hackers, a team that have played together a few more times than their opposition. There is going to be a very quick bomb plant, and you can already see that support coming in from the team in pink. And they're going to see Dave going to try and get that shot out. Such an aggressive player, Major. Always the first into battle. You cannot argue with his enthusiasm for gunfights.
Yeah, and there's gunfights going all over the place at the moment. Aqua's going to lose his one. Dave, again, still going to go for the opportunity to chow, and he's going to get the shots in, and Scooty is going to bag Tay as well. Number 2 in Alfie, surely going to get shot in the back any second. Ezra is just hunting him down, so the pinch comes through, and now 2 versus 2. Jackson, though, is going to get ripped off the heady. They've got to try and pick a time to defuse this bomb here. They're going to have to be quick, and it looks as though they're going to have to try and just bat off Ezra, who is going to be up top. They are on the diffuser, and I don't think Ezra realizes it, as he is going to re-challenge the bullets. Are they going to manage to collide in time with Dave? No, they're not. They're going to get the defuse off, and unFOURtunate tie it back up 2-2.
Yeah, you've got to say, hats off to Dave. The aggression really paying off. He's able to hang around without losing his life, plays his life really well. Gets one pick, which was the important pick, the player in and around the bomb site. You think he was just on sandbags outside P2, and that was just vital to them being able to get a little bit more control up docks, allowed the rest of the side to get in the end. We can see that kill coming in and the defuse, so ties things up quite nicely, and parity is restored. But again, it is going to be Detri Hackers on the defense. So unFOURtunate really need to break this kind of attacking curse they've had so far in these handful of attacking rounds that they have had. So big opportunities for them, maybe to get that psychological blow in and take the lead. They haven't done so far. So it is handy that they get that first blood. As we see, Major Carlin shots, he does drop to Senor Cream. And it is going to be a 3v3 as we see Aquilini fall.
Yeah, and Dave's caught in a really difficult spot there. There's not really anywhere he can go when he's out in the open. Ezra's going to manage to chow onto Scooty and win that one. So now Alfie, last man up, needs a 1 versus 3. The first man has been taken down. Jackson's been spotted in mid as well, so Alfie gets the second as well. Now 1 versus 1 up against Ezra. Pistol out, and I banter him for it. He loves using the pistol from time to time, but can Alfie make the shots count? Oh, he's going to open the door, get shot in the back. Nope, nothing comes of it. No clutch on that occasion, and Detri Hackers push the lead out once again, 3-2, and the waft is slowly starting to edge into this one.
Yeah, again, this issue with this capability in the attacking phase has proven to be very, very difficult. No one really taking that advantage, and it is going to come down potentially to that first attacking round. You've got to say that's going to be a big blow to the potential victor in this round. So right now, you would say Detri Hackers again, one of those teams that just able to do so well in S&D. They are largely doing this on the back of Ezra and Jackson, 7-3 and 5-3. Again, we did highlight earlier on Danny G and the pseudonym of the Colin shots. He just needing to pick things up. You feel if he gets a little bit more involved, this could be a big game. Tay backs out of what could have been a reasonably winnable situation. He is going to go prone and just play chicken, and there is going to be a bit of a standoff in the front. He is tagged up with that stun. He's going to get a nade into the back. That's going to give him the open, as we see a bit of Benny Hill in and around, but the plant is going to go down, and a little bit of bomb site control is going to go the way of Detri Hackers.
Yeah, so now 2 versus 3. Bomb goes down. They've got Ezra all the way out in the back as well, so they can just play info on site and then call him as and when he is needed. So we'll have to try and see where this next pick lies. Is Scooty going to check the right corner here? He's tucked away, and there's going to be Tay chasing him down from behind. So there's another pick coming through for Tay, and now Alfie finds himself all alone. They tag him up, they drop him, and Detri Hackers take another round in what has been a very, very solid middle portion of the map for them here. It now sees them up by 2, 4-2 up, and you just need to try and keep this momentum going, Pablo, if you're a Detri Hacker player. It's looking very, very clean. They're trading a hell of a lot better in this search than they were in the hard point.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously you've got them winning that attacking round, which is giving them that 2-round buffer. So the psychology is right with them right now. And you've got obviously look to your 2 big players, big personalities in Dave and Aqua, 2-5 and 2-5. You know, right now Hams is absolutely furious with himself. He's not a player who likes to do badly in any game, but in S&D in particular, you will want to try and up that. So they're going to have to get a little bit more involved, because right now, Detri Hackers with a good solid bit of control. Dave looking to just get a bit of suppressive fire. He is going to leave himself slightly exposed. Tay just going to back up over towards docks, and you can see that is going to be a player in towards that bomb site. Major, that's been another facet of this unFOURtunate gameplay. They like to get straight into that bomb site, even on defense.
Yeah, Alfie's going to get spotted laying prone. He's dead to rights. Dave is dead to rights as well, as Ezra gets 2. There's another man up top, but he does have the Carling Shotsy and Danny G to help him out, and there you go. Pistol out, gets the kill. Aqua's now all alone inside the bomb site. This is looking very, very difficult. And yeah, the firing squad comes through, sniffs him out, grabs them, and it's going to be now a 5-2 lead here for Detri Hackers. And unfortunate at the moment, it just feels as though their kind of adaptation to what Detri Hackers are doing isn't really quite working at the moment, Pabs. It feels as though they're getting trades in the early stages, but as soon as the round starts to hit crunch time, Detri Hackers just seem to know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, you got to take the, if you take apart that particular round, getting control of that bomb site isn't literally, you don't just take control of the small shed that the bomb's actually in. You need control of P2 as well. You need control of that building. Otherwise, you're going to leave yourself open to routes from middle and routes from kind of fire. And it just, obviously, as we saw, Ezro, a player, he's come through the middle portion of the map, come through the window and able to get 2 players down. So get yourself some P2 control if you are going to go to the B bomb site. You can see Detri Hackers looking to finish this attacking round off with some big control. It's going to be a straight kill, but it is going to be traded out as Alfie gets shotty and is immediately traded right away. So it is going to be 3v3, but a little bit of control going the way of Detri Hackers, and it's obviously a slightly easier area to control than the B-bomb site.
There you go. Yeah, they just collapsed in and they won all of their individual gunfights, and now Ezro, the bomb is down. Ooh, hello. Yeah, okay, he did get spotted, so Dave is going to mop up his 4th kill of the search and destroy, and they will stay alive in this one, but some really clean work there. On that occasion, they won all of their individual gunfights that they needed to. They mop up those remaining players, get the defuse as well, and unfortunately, going to reduce that deficit just down to 2. They're going to need 3 more, though, so Pabs, and at the moment, you're definitely favouring Detri Hackers, but you never know. You never know.
I just think it's going to come down to unfortunate attack and prowess. They just haven't been able to win an attacking round, consistently enough, and that's exactly what's bit them in the backside. So I think if they can get this bomb down, if they can get proper control of the bomb site, they can bring this to 5-4, and we might be back on to the waft of a round 11. But they do need this attacking round. Obviously, they are on the precipice, but this is something they haven't been able to do thus far. So they're going to have to go big, and you can already smell the caution coming out of them. When you see Dave post up, you know that there's a different approach coming in tactics.
Oh, Ezro's so weak here. Oh, God. Okay. Well, Aqua's playing Kirby with a nade, and it bounces back and slaps Alfie straight on the face. That is not what you want to see there. I don't know. I've never seen anyone manage to do that with a nade on Vanguard, and I can already imagine Aqua just screaming into his headset on what on earth has just happened there. But now they're desperately trying to get this bomb down, and it's going to be a pick that comes through for Taste, and now Dave drops. It's all going to be on Aqua and Scooty. Aqua's getting bullets in. Scooty will manage to get a pick out the back, so they will manage to put their backs up just a little bit against the wall and maybe try and fight off a couple of these players. And it's going to be potentially another opportunity here for Scooty to help his man out, and he's going to get some shots in. There's going to be another team kill in another round here, and now, oh my God, the duo are getting it done here. All of a sudden, Danny G, his last man up, finds himself in a 1 versus 2, and it looks as though they're going to just quickly try and wrap this bomb to B, and it's looking doable.
Wow, did they send all 3 players to chase Aqua? What am I seeing? How an S&D side with such quality just fall? It is going to be a really easy kill there with 8 seconds. This is absolutely vital right now. Shotty is going to back up, but Danny T is going to back completely up, and he can't get the bomb down. That is going to be such an unfortunate end to the round for unfortunate Detri Hackers. Not only win the round, but they take the game in one of the most absurd rounds we have seen in a long time.
That was so weird. I will quickly shout out Mr. Tizzle for the 12-month streak of subs. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, JC. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you are well. But yeah, that was probably one of the weirdest search and destroy rounds I've ever seen. We saw 2 team kills. All of a sudden, the 2 versus 4 looked doable. And then all of a sudden, it kind of fell apart right at the end. And Danny clutches it up and ties up the series.
What? I get all right, the team kill, a lack of trigger discipline from the Detri Hackers. They just see a player and they fire. And you can kind of the weird Kirby moments where Aqua kind of manages to clip the curb of top stairs, and the grenade just absolutely decimates Alfie. But then Detri Hackers send the remaining 3 players in a kind of snake chase with Aqua and get absolutely bodied by Scooty, and Aqua makes the flank and gets the kill, and they still lose the round. So 1-1, and I think you were right, Major, from the outset. You said this might be a little bit closer than I suspected, and it is 1-1 right now as we head back into a Berlin control.
Yeah, well, we don't have a 3-0, and Campbell wants a major Thank you very much, mate. And oh, there you go. One of the milkers himself, Mr. Lewis Matthews, my switcheroo nemesis. Thank you very much for the sub, handsome. Thank you very, very much. And oh, Davey's dropped one as well. What's going on? 12 months, Davey. Peep the badge. Looks beautiful on you, mate. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you are well as well. And I mean, we've had a really good series so far in some ways. It's been a very bizarre one. Obviously, the hard point, in case you guys did miss it, I will quickly put the map scores back up, but unfortunate's managed to take it 250 to 166. They looked very convincing on that hard point, and then in the search, I suppose that's kind of where these chop and change teams kind of fall apart maybe a little bit, Pabs, is when it comes to kind of the strategies and the kind of the intricate moments where teams have a better understanding. Whereas, because the unfortunate roster is kind of one that's been stitched together as oh my god, another sub, Alfie with the prime, Mr. Mead. Thank you very much, Alfie, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Hope your map 2 is going to be put to the back of your mind in map 3, Alf. But yeah, map 1 looked very good. Map 2, not so much. And I suppose this is where control is really the swing potentially in this one, because I still think it's going map 5, to be honest. I don't think this is going to be a 3-1. I'll be happily mistaken, but I don't know. I've just got a feeling this is going game 5, even after.
Listen, for it to go to game 5, Detri Hackers I think need to win this control round, and it's eminently doable. It's got enough strategy in it where they can potentially just use that extra experience in terms of just the core group of 4, not necessarily experiences in an individual sense. And they need to take that control. If they take the control, I think it's going game 5. If they don't take the control, I think Berlin Hardpoint is just. It's just wild enough. It's just large enough for Dave to have his way again, and that's going to be a problem for them on the map. But again, there's a long way to go. And you said from the start you wanted a game 5. The high likelihood it is going to be a game 5. But Detri Hackers need to take this control to take it to that position.
Yeah, I think again Respawn is going to be just slaying. I think if they're getting the kills, they'll probably take this map, to be honest, Detri Hackers, because Berlin is very kill heavy, very fast paced in control, a hell of a lot faster than a Gavutu and a Tuscan anyways, and the attacking side is a hell of a lot easier as well, so we are very accustomed to seeing teams that are just slaying very well take this one fairly comfortably, whereas on a Tuscan you can kind of have those teams that are doing well in slaying, but that B point is just so difficult to get sometimes unless you are literally getting wave after wave after wave, and obviously the nades you manage to dodge on that B point. Same with Gavutu as well. It's one where the defensive side has such a big advantage, but Berlin really punishes teams that don't get kills, especially that first wave of kills. If they hit an A point quick and you don't get those players off the site and all of a sudden it's triple or even double stacked, you're looking at 2 ticks minimum. So yeah, I think slaying, especially with the ARs, is going to be a big kind of pivot, I suppose you would say, for this one.
Well, one of the strategies I've seen coming out of teams a lot of the time is a very light approach towards the A zone, just kind of You know, you can see this push towards the B zone just purely because it's what everyone's used to doing anyway. You're making that crunch down towards P1. So you see this light touch defensively, and then it becomes essentially this massive defensive battle over towards the one zone. It wouldn't surprise me if we see that again, time and time again. But it just depends. Look at the pace that we get out of Dave. I thoroughly expect him to be straight into that P1 area and just absolutely trying to ratchet time up and dropping as many incoming Detri Hackers as possible. But again, on the other side, they've got the same opportunity to do the same kind of damage. So really looking for Detri Hackers to step things up. I think this is going to be a lot better for the likes of Danny G. I think he had a very slow S&D, and this is going to give him a great opportunity to just pick things back up.
And Dirk would follow just at the start of the game. Thank you very much.
Oh!
Buddy. Hope you're well. And welcome. So, initially, a couple of opening kills coming through of unfortunate, but instantly going to be replied with a couple of pink kills coming through courtesy of Ezro and the Carling Shotzi that is Danny G. For anyone who's wondering, it's not the actual Shotzi having a few tinnies on the bus over towards Champs. It is Danny G. But we'll have to see if his performance manages to live up to expectation, because when you name yourself that, you got to perform. That's all I'll say. But nice work there from the boys in blue, and it will open up this A point for some more stacks to maybe come through. That first tick looks pretty much done now. Akra is just going to be laying prone, but this next wave of kills is going to be really important. He's going to manage to get the first one. They're going to have to try and check these corners. You can already see the desperation coming through as Dave chews through one, chews through two, can't get the third, and they will breathe a bit of a sigh of relief there, perhaps, because it was getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, it was. It was very much looking towards getting that second tick down, and it was very, Jackson doing a good job. A little bit of unfortunate timing. I think it might have been Scooty who came up through the stairs, and Tay was able to just, it was just pure unfortunate timing. Was able to get the kill on them, just they're crossing each other. So unfortunate for the unfortunates, but they've got to have another bite at the cherry as we see this fight go over towards the B zone. So yeah, there is going to be 2 ticks already going down. You can see just how far out Alfie waits waiting for those picks in transition. This could be a brilliant opportunity. He's not seeing that player go down the docks. A beautiful, beautiful bit of panning there from Major Chafin on the flight camera. So hats off to the young man there. But we can see not able to get the picks, and we can see almost 3 ticks. Major down at B.
Always got to strive for improving it with free cam, you name it, we'll try it. We'll give it a go.
That was a thing of beauty, mate.
hopefully some of them are as good as that one was. So it looks as though that B point is now done, and with 16 lives plays 15 and 1 minute 40 on the clock, it has been a very, very fast-paced control as we're used to seeing on Berlin. And Aqua will get info on one man. He puts shots over towards him, won't get the kill though. And, the Hype Train level 2 finish. Thank you very much, guys, for the 4 gifted subs and the primes and all that beautiful goodness that you guys show over towards the channel. Thank you very much, boys and girls. So, over towards the A point. Looks as though Aqua is going to go. He's going to go around the back of the spawn. And he might be able to catch a couple of plays. He's going to have to be quick. Dave, meanwhile, is doing Lord's work over towards the front side of the hill, and they get another couple of kills. But Jackson again, this time with good timing as he cuts through 2 players, 3 drop, and again, it's going to be another position where Detri Hackers looked as though they were going to get a little bit worried, but they managed to clutch up and get all those important kills right when they need to.
And yeah, largely on the back of Jackson for a second time, so doing the Lord's work over towards that A zone. So nice play by him. They've managed to push out as well, and you can see over towards the back, taking up that kind of aroma position, just trying to get anyone transition across. I think the players from unFOURtunate have read that, so number 6 in Shotty is going to get in Shotty. Danny G buckets, it's just so bizarre. He manages to get tied up at the back there, and again, just trying to get that information. Just more than anything else, just costs the unFOURtunates an incredible amount of time. As we break that sub 30-second barrier, not a lot of time, and is Major going to be 6 play 6?
Oh man, next pick is going to be huge here. I think if unFOURtunate don't get it, it's looking a little bit bleak. But Jackson's going to get shot in the back. Alfie, is he going to check this right-hand corner? He is, and he's going to get the kill onto Danny. And Alfie, I'll tell you what, he primed subbed, and he said he was a little bit nervous, but there's no need to be nervous after that. Clean shots coming through from Alf, and it's now going to be a second tick that comes through. But now can Ezra make the play? He gets 2, and Jackson gets the 3rd as well. So now Dave, all of a sudden, needs to just try and stay alive. The contest comes through. He knows those players are going to be on his left-hand side, but he needs to try and stay alive here. Ezra goes for the chow. Ezra clears him off the point, and now it's a 2 versus 2. 7 seconds left on the clock. Is Aqua going to try and hit this quickly? He's got his teammate with him, but number 7, Jackson's waiting in the close left corner, and they just chew through both of them, and Detri Hackers clutch up when they need to.
I need that gun. Whatever gun he just used at the end of the kill. Luckily, I need that gun. But yeah, nice play. And it comes down to a solid defense over towards that A zone again, which is kind of half predictable, but really good job. And you've got to look to the likes of Jackson, the likes of Ezra, both doing, the numbers may be the same across the board for the Detri Hackers, but they had 2 big moments from both those players, getting 3 pieces, getting 2 pieces that largely backed up the boys from unFOURtunate and left them with very little time on the hands. And that forces a rush push, and that's why you end up with 2 dead at the end from the 1 player.
Who's going to get some shots in straight off the rip? The bodies of Detri Hackers are here and ready to go, and nobody's watching the flank at the moment. Tay might be able to chew through so many of them here, and he's going to get one onto Scooty. Surely the second on Aqua is going to come through. There's still going to be another man in Alfie. Last man standing inside the point. He will get traded out by Jackson, so now the opportunity to stack the point is here, and Jackson, again, a big couple of kills. It's not going to be enough to allow any more progress over towards that A point, but it does open up the B side.
Yeah, absolutely. A nice push as well. You can see this flank coming around the back. It is going to be Shotty does fall, and he gets that kill, though. Opens up A for the boys to be potentially pushed through. And again, we're going to see this defense over towards the B zone. It's a nice setup right now, but that's a beautiful shot as we see Tay fall 9 and 11. Some nice plays. We've seen a lot of kills coming out of unFOURtunate. They haven't been able to turn it into any attacking prowess. They've got themselves a tidy 2-life lead, and you get 6 cents coming out to Scooty. Finally taken down by Senior Danny G. He manages to get the picks across from top warehouse, and you can see straight away they're going to be jumping onto that B zone, progress onto that 1.5 Major, and I do believe we're going to see this kind of water attrition again coming towards that A zone.
Aqua will pick off 1 man to give his team that 1 life advantage. But now where are they going to try and decide to push this from? Again, the ARs of unFOURtunate are just really starting to lock down these lanes. Ezra's going to try and push out this side, and the nade actually we'd see land pucker straight in the face of Scooty. So he will get into top tower, but it's going to be another kill here for Aqua to put himself on 4 in a row as they look to try and transition all the way out the back. And again, another double kill comes through from Jackson. It will opt to allow them to get through, and Jackson gets another one as well. So 3 in quick succession there for Jackson. That kill feed is very, very pink. Detri Hackers now see themselves with a 2 life advantage. Dave is going to mop up Tay, who just looked to progress himself up just a little bit too far, and he will get dropped. But with 1 minute on the clock and 15 plays 16, It's going to be a very tight affair.
Last question. I think sometimes the Hams Aquilini puts himself in the kind of exposed positions. He's trying to watch that transition across docks, but he leaves himself exposed, and that's going to get him killed. And that's allowed essentially this push all the way through middle to allow Detri Hackers to get that mid-map control. You can see number 8 and number 6 in Danny G as Colin shots. He has pushed all the way up, and you can also see number 7 just watching that shove. So this could be an interesting pinch. It is going to come down to 2 big plays, and that's going to be a nice read there in the middle of the map. Really, really important. Now, unFOURtunate is going to look to try and come around and get some control from middle. Whether he's going to be able to do that is another thing. We can see number 7 just making his way slowly but surely in. Stops the clock at 25 seconds, but he is going to get dropped. And Major, that is another big defense. As we see, 8 lives, plays 10. Is the time going to be a friend or an enemy right now to Detri Hackers?
Yeah, and a quick shout out there to Grim for 16 months, Grim. As he loves to be known,
That's
Mr.
an
Grim.
OG right there.
Thank you very much, Grim. One of the ones from day one. Thank you very much, Grim. Thank you very much, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. I haven't seen you in the chat for ages. But it's now going to be 3 seconds remaining here. unFOURtunate, I've got to go. And Carling Shotzi, Mr. Danny G gets some picks, but nope. unFOURtunate do manage to dig their feet in just about deep enough to tie it up to 1 round apiece. It looked as though Detri Hackers had opportunities. They had sniffs in that round to maybe get onto the point, but unFOURtunate, they just managed to hold on just about long enough, as they now will go on that offensive side. But we saw a little bit of play in the early stage there, Pablo, from unFOURtunate, kind of pinning the players of Detri Hackers back, which they weren't quite able to do when they were on the defensive side. So it'll be an interesting approach to see whether or not the Detri Hacker boys try and do a similar thing, get that first wave of kills, get pushed up, and just try and almost drain unFOURtunate's for lives.
Yeah, that's entirely it. I just don't think they've got the players who are nearly as aggressive as the boys coming out to unFOURtunate. Obviously, we know that Dave is going to be, you know, the first into the fight as quick as possible, straight up, and you can see they've already got themselves into the kill. It's going to be big shots coming out to Scooty, and you're going to see that support coming straight away from Aquilini, and now they've got sights, and these are ARs that you do not want to be facing down. This could be a massacre, Major, especially if they continue to push from the front, and we got Hams in that position there. You've got Scooty there. This could be awful.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pick off so many players on the cross. Ezra's going to check the corner, but oh my goodness, this is getting done, and the B point's getting done as well. They got to pick something, and now Scooty finds himself last man up. That is a really big kill to maybe stop these players from getting on the contest, but now Scooty in the corner. There's one for him. No, he's not going to get either. He puts bullets into so many of them, but now surely Alfie's going to be here to maybe mop up a couple of them who were both weak. But now B point's done. A point is now on the horizon here, but Alfie's going to get taken down. Aqua is still in the back. I don't think they realise that he's also here as well. Is Ezra going to turn around and check it? He is, but Aqua wins the gunfight. And now they're going to have a good job of maybe trying to clear him out the back as he gets a second onto Jackson, the third man on Tay. The reads are perfect here from Aqua. Can he get a third? Yes, he can. He mops them all up. And now it's looking like this A point is pretty much done. They are chewing through them.
Yeah, this has been something of a match, and you can already see 21 lives, plays 16. That 4 life advantage, and I mean, it largely comes down to those 2 players, Scooty and Aquilini, and that was a huge play. And you can see the difference the S&D to the controllers made for Hams, 24 and 14. The kill leader, not just by a bit, but by quite some way. Can they turn this into a lead, though? This is the question with 1:37 on the clock. Detri Hackers Major have done a brilliant job of trying to bring that life count back down, but it is going to just hold steady doggedly at 4 lives. It is going to be Dave just in that top position, looking to get picks and looking to pre-read those moves from Detri Hackers.
Yeah, Tay's going to go into fire. Dave is literally right above him here, so they're not going to spot him. Surely the call-out comes through. I think Scooty maybe spotted him. You can see that Tay is just wrapping through his spawn time after time, and he will get one. He might get the second onto Dave as well. And oh, Dave manages to snap onto him where he's weak. 180s and gets the pick, but now 14 plays 13. They still have a minute to try and orchestrate a push here. Danny is all the way out the back, but those blue arrows, they've already gone past him. But Ezra is going to manage to take down one man in Aqua, so now that push is going to be stopped. Dave is still here over towards Far. He just wants to make sure that nobody is going to maybe try and re-pinch them here as they try and push up towards the point. The stun check does come through. It doesn't collide with Dave, though, so they've got no info of his whereabouts as of yet. But now this next set of kills has to be big. Dave up through the window. He is going to manage to clamber on, but he's just going to be left there with bullets straight to the face as he tries to mantle over towards the top. And with 30 seconds left here, Aqua's in the back, but this time is not looking like it's in their favour.
Yeah, again, another difficult round for the attacking side as Detri Hackers just prove very, very determined and tenacious in defense, and you can see those Pink Arrows just making their way through to that A zone, and they've just had their way over the last few seconds. 8 lives plays 10. It was a 4-life advantage to unFOURtunate, but that's gone by the by. With only a handful of time, Aqua is going to be at the gates, but he manages to get dropped, and Scooty is going to be inside. And again, it's going to come down to a solid defense, but you can see those players starting to swarm in, and with 6 seconds left on the clock, it's going to maybe be just enough time for Alfie to get gunned, and that's going to take 2-1 to Detri Hackers, and major it's another round to the defensive team.
Yeah, that was a really good regain there from Detri Hackers. It looked after they got that first point done that it was just going to get steamrolled and that round was going to be over, but they managed to just about keep themselves alive in that one. And some big kills coming through there from the boys across the board. You can see Danny's having a really good map again, but Tay slightly negative on this one, but he is performing a hell of a lot better than he was in that map one. And that's pretty much what they're going to need, Pablo. They're going to need everyone contributing to the kill feed consistently against this team of 4 if they are going to take this one. And fair play to them, that's exactly what they did up. They clutched up, they iced up, and they managed to take the round, and now they see themselves only 1 round away from taking this control and going 2-1 up.
Yeah, you say about iced up, that's exactly what they've done. They just, the composure that they've regained from that first map where they were completely bodied, and the Tuscan hardpoint has been admirable. And this again, with every player just, you know, getting involved and you know, bringing something to the table. Beautiful kill though, right there. 18 and 23 for Tay. He's the only player potentially kind of negative on that side of Detri Hackers, but again, had some big moments, and we've seen some crazy kills in this game. And Major, this has been an incredibly entertaining affair so far, but Scooty just having his way over towards that B zone, and no ticks as yet. With 44 seconds remaining, the aggression coming out of the boys from unFOURtunate, well, actually, it might come back to bite them, as you can see those pink arrows just trying to better get a control over towards A.
Yeah, Dave still lurking up top, though. He's just waiting for the right moment to make the play. When's he going to try and drop straight on the head of Jackson here? Because they are on the A point as well here. They've got to be careful of where they put their investment here. And it will be over towards the B point. So Dave is going to stop that progression coming through. But now Scooty's desperately trying to get over towards the point. It is just going to be Danny on the point on his own. And now Scooty opens up the door. The contest comes through. Is he going to check the right corner, though? Danny's right in the back right. He's not going to get it. And that's a big kill coming through from Danny. And look at Tay now hitting the flank. No hesitation. Really quick. And he will get sniffed out. So he will at least grab a bit of attention here. And just by being in the back, he's stopping those players from getting through to the point. That kill feed, though, very pink. Detri Hackers do exactly what they need to. And now, all of a sudden, those blue arrows are desperate to try and get over towards the B point. And we know how difficult that one is to defend.
You know, we talked about it before the game, how certain elements of control can be very similar strategically to S&D, and how well Detri Hackers took when they got that attacking round. Well, they are doing exactly the same thing. A beautiful bit of control in this game. They managed to get 2 players over towards that A point, largely unchallenged, and that allows them to get that time and get those zones tied up, and they are on the precipice right there. And it is going to be Detri Hackers who take the win 3-1 and go into the lead, Major, and take that 2-1 up as we head into game 4.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what we called for what is probably going to have to happen for the game 5. And now it sees Detri Hackers right on the edge of taking this one 3-1 in winners round 1. So this is a really good moment here for Detri Hackers. Alfie had a really rough map. We saw the moment there where he got spun on a little bit. Ever so slightly in that one, and that kind of summed up his map, to be honest. A really rough one. But Detri Hackers goes to show, Pablo in Vanguard, if you drop map 1, don't think about it. Get onto map 2, get onto map 3. That's exactly what they've done, and now they're right on the precipice of progressing through the winners bracket even further. Yeah,
they did almost the same thing they did in the S&D. They got themselves that, I think it was round 6, and it was an attacking round for them. They managed to just ice up, and they got that round in, and they control exactly the same premise. They're 2-1 up. They need an attacking round to win. They send 2 players over towards that B zone, but more importantly, they did it without any real interaction. So they just kind of sneak in. They get the time. They get nicely set up. We do see some nice picks coming out of Danny G over towards that kind of like that top stairs door, and then that allowed them then to get the what is, I mean, essentially probably the easiest control zone out of all the control zones. So nice work from Detri Hackers to go 2-1 up and put themselves in a reasonably good position to see this game out. They have got to do, you know, possibly the unthinkable and take a respawn round, a hardpoint round off the unFOURtunate, who are very capable. But it's looking like momentum shift is with the boys in pink.
Yeah, it felt as though kind of the SMG presence on that map. I'm not quite sure what Alfie was running it. I saw him with an SMG in his hand at times, and then other times with a an AR, so we'll have to see what he's running in this one. But yeah, kind of that SMG presence that Tay offered them in that map. Obviously, he had a rough map 1, but he had a decent map 3 there, where on a Berlin, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to run an SMG on. You're obviously running lanes where ARs are pretty much just staring down them 24/7. So you would anticipate kind of with the backup of him doing well in that role, and obviously Alfie struggling if I think he was running that role, and the likes of Dave and Scooty not as present as you would expect them to be, I think is the way of phrasing it. Obviously, Hams had a good game. Aqua did really well, but they just, across the board, they weren't consistently putting up some of the kills that we saw in that first map. That was pretty much across the board. Everyone from unFOURtunate was firing on all cylinders, and on the flip side, it was Detri Hackers that weren't. And then we've just seen pretty much a complete mirror of that in favour of Detri Hackers in the control. So I'm really interested to see how this hardpoint goes, because we've obviously, they look good on Berlin, obviously different game mode, but then unfortunately look good on the hardpoint. So now we kind of get that crossover where we say, right, okay, who's going to look the favourite? Because at the moment, I probably wouldn't really be able to call it, because Detri Hackers at the moment, they do look very good.
I just think you've got to look to someone like Dave. Obviously, control on Berlin, maybe not rewarding an aggressive player like Dave as much as it's going to do in hardpoint, and he's going to have, you know, you've kind of got like almost like a I don't know how you describe it, like concentric circle kind of approach to each kill. So you've obviously got the hill itself, which is obviously a hot zone, and then as you get wider and wider out, you obviously got backups and ARs. If you've got a player with a good solid piece of aggression, you can be that breach man into the hill and push right the way through, use his aggression to then get picks on players who are trying to transition from the other side into the hill. It's going to allow your team not only to get into the and get that big time, which is what they did on Tuscan largely, was on the back of Dave's hyper aggression.
Yeah.
It's going to allow him to put up some big figures. So I think control maybe not really kind of like given the props to a player with that kind of aggression. It doesn't really reward you for doing that. It is a lot more, you can't go rogue as much in control. You need to be playing a lot more as a team, just because of that potential and how quickly a 2-stack can take the time. So yeah, going into a Berlin hardpoint, I think this is a different thing. You might see a little bit more reward go the way of Dave.
Yeah, again, you're looking towards kind of the money hills on Berlin, obviously P1 especially, straight off the rip, a team that gets a really strong P1 hold. How many times do we see them run away with a Berlin hardpoint? We see it time after time. And then again, even on the second rotation, if you get locked in after that P5 onto P1, you can get a huge amount of time. And we see it kind of on the control. When you get players locked in, it's so difficult to break that particular part of the map. So P1 is such a money hill in this one, and obviously that P5, we've seen a lot of teams do really well on it as well. We've seen in the early stages of Vanguard, teams didn't really get a huge amount of time. It was very much 50-50, a little bit messy, but as teams start to understand the spawns and kind of get a general understanding of how they should play that particular messy hill, we see a lot of teams get a huge chunk of time on P5 if other teams aren't careful. So it'll be interesting to see kind of, especially because Detri Hackers, you would assume, are going to be a bit more coordinated because they're used to playing with each other that little bit more. Whether or not they can kind of take that to their advantage, lock down some of those more scrappy hills, as we refer to them as, and obviously see bigger chunks of time coming through for it. Because Tuscan, I think fundamentally, a lot of people know how to play Tuscan very well, whereas I think Berlin is probably a little bit harder to do it on.
Yeah, I just think for me, it's always about the P2. So P2 is like a link, almost like a link hill. So for that P5, P1 transition is super important for the team that haven't done particularly well on the P3, P4 transition. So anyone who completely owns P3, the opposition usually try and get set up for P4. If they're not able to get a chunk of time on that, and the team making that transition from P3 get a load of time, then you're then looking to your opposition to maybe take control of P5, that P5, P1 transition, and you get this kind of like rotation between these sets of 4 kills, and with you know, one team taking that P3, P4, one team taking P5, P1. So for me, comes down to that link hill, which is your P2. How are the team going to choke P1 early and try and get a chunk of time? It's a little bit easier to defend. It's a much smaller hill than the majority of the other hills, with a lot less angles into it. So it could be a good opportunity, but it looks like we're going to get a restart. There appears to be issues on the side of Detri Hackers. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. But this is going to come down largely to the quality of your ARs. Is Aqua going to put up big numbers? Is Scooty going to put up big numbers? And on the other side, obviously, we're going to be looking to Detri Hackers to see how they perform potentially. And this is a good opportunity for them, though. And as you pointed out, Major, they're a team that have played together that little bit more than the unFOURtunate, who are largely a pick-up side. So this could be an opportunity for them to really just put the cosh on them and end this at 3-1.
Yeah, and just while we wait for the guys to sort out the restart in map number 4, just in case you guys did miss it, this is currently what our series is looking at. It is 2-1 to Detri Hackers after a solid map 1 from unFOURtunate. They managed to take it 250 to 166, but then they dropped the search 6-3 and then the control 3-1. So now sees them in a position where they can't drop any more maps. They will need to take the Blinn hardpoint and then the subsequent Tuscan thereafter. But we've now got an interesting bracket as well. So Mez and Katana Abyss are going to be facing off in that winners round 2, and then the winner of this one is going to go through to face either Milkers or Obsidian Orange. So that'll be an interesting matchup. And then Liquidate and Ricochet are currently those two teams that have been knocked down in towards the losers bracket. So whoever comes out on the short straw side of this one is going to be down in that losers bracket. They won't be eliminated just yet, but we should reiterate that they aren't going to be down and out just yet. Not quite sure what the prize pool is actually for this one. I'll have to try and find out potentially further down the line. Danny's just saying Jackson had no audio. That's all good, Danny. It's all good. Don't worry, don't worry. And El Panda with the follow. Thank you very much. So yeah, map 4, Pabs. I mean, I'll ask you: are we getting game 5, or do you think Detri are?
Listen, let's let everyone into a secret. I didn't think we were getting a game 4, to be perfectly honest. But I'm a
I would say I told you
predictor. I know, and I'll quite happily take that on the chin. But let's be honest, Detri Hackers looking very good, and as the series has progressed, they've just been more and more composed. More than anything else, they just seem a lot more capable than they did in the very first hardpoint. So Tuscan again is that kind of such a middle ground map that you do feel like, you know, the players with that excessive natural ability at an individual level can still dominate. But as the series is worn on, we're just starting to see that team ethic start to come into play, particularly from that round 6 in S&D when they got that attacking round. Detri Hackers haven't really looked back. They just look almost to dominate ever since then. So this is a good opportunity for unFOURtunate to try and regain, get a little bit of composure back, and try and fight back for that game 5. But honestly, if they hit game 5, I don't hold out much hope in the Tuscan S&D.
Yeah, so Mr. Smooge, the Vulture, has informed me that Ricochet have forfeited, so unfortunately they will not be partaking in any more of the GCSE. God, that'll be a traumatic tournament, wouldn't it? A GCSE knockout bracket? Absolutely not. A GCA Championship game is much better. I got flashbacks there to my exams, and yeah, big shout out to anyone who is doing exams. Obviously, Aqua had his one yesterday, and hopefully he comes through with the goods. Because at the end of the day, we always bang the drum, Pablo, don't we? Well, it's probably because we're old, really. I think at this point we say education first. But it's a pleasure to see these guys kind of grinding kind of college or university and Call of Duty at the same time, because it's not necessarily the easiest thing to balance, is it?
No, especially not if you're committed to Call of Duty. Obviously, you've got to get your priorities in place. If you're not at the level of someone like Scrappy, then probably a good idea to maybe just pop the priorities over to the education. But you know, it is what it is. It's always good to try and fit in a little bit of Call of Duty, especially if your passion is there. And we know, listen, you know how old I am. I'm approaching my pension age, and I still can't get off this game. You know, I still end up turning it on. I still play ranked. I obviously got no chance of playing competitive, but the passion's still there. So I don't know what it's like for someone who's maybe 20 or 21, but I would be absolutely in every evening trying to fight, and it is going to be a huge push as we expect, Major, into this P1, and it's going to be Detri Hackers just on that preferred side, just getting an opportunity to just get a few seconds onto the clock early doors.
Yeah, and Shotzi, after a few beers, is going to manage to clear off a couple of players. Danny G, they're mopping up the players, and it looks as though they're going to just really push out this lane instantly. 3 in quick succession there for Danny, as he's already picking off unFOURtunate players willy-nilly. Is there going to be another one? There's going to be a few players out here who do well to stay alive in that situation, but already you can see 30 seconds on the clock here for Detri Hackers with pretty much no reply. Finally, Alfie's going to get in towards the hill. Tay is going to just maybe dip away and side better of it, and it's going to be a strong start with a big amount of scrap time for unFOURtunate, because if they didn't manage to get that break, Pablo, this break-off would have looked pretty much perfect for Detri Hackers.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they did. I think they've realised they needed a couple of players to be able to hold down potentially this P2, and you can see why with shots like that coming out of Big Hams as he manages to break into the hill, get a kill, but it is going to be some control going the way of Detri Hackers. They need to stack this hill because they know how capable the individual players are coming out of unFOURtunate. It's still not going to be enough though, as we see control going the way of the team in pink, and that's going to allow them to potentially get them a nice early lead. It's something they didn't have in that first Tuscan hardpoint. So props going out to Ezro, Shotty, Big Daddy G, Tay and Jackson for doing that. But this is what I'm talking about. This P2 is so vital. So this is going to be super important. Can they make this transition? This fight is going to be absolutely everything. And Major Aqua is going to win that for that P3.
If he doesn't win that, those spawns are looking a little bit bleak for unFOURtunate, but it is going to be a big rotation coming through from a couple of kills of Aquilini. And Scooty, slow start from him. They're going to look to try and maybe buff him up a little bit in the middle portion of this one, because it is now currently standing at around a 50-point lead here. Alfie's going to get some shots in, but the trades now are going to need to look clean because Ezro's managed to get himself out the back here, and all of a sudden Scooty needs to try and stay alive here, just to, even if he's blocking spawns. And now Danny's going to have a gunfight out the back. Big wins there from Scooty. Is the trade going to be there? He's actually going to manage to dip away, and he's going to get some shots into the back of Ezro, who will fall. Aqua is going to manage to get inside the hill as Jackson tries to punch in for his respective team, but it's been a bit of a scrappy start to this hill as of yet, but unFOURtunate they are clocking up quite a sizable chunk of time to show for it. Nice work there from Dave to clean out one man. And Ezro replies with the trade, but 25 seconds still remaining on this hill, and it's only a matter of time, surely, you feel, before Detri Hackers start to think towards that next hill.
Yeah, and it's been a nice attempt to try and get in, and that's number 7 there in Tay with some big kills as Aqua gets the handgun out and gets bodied in the process. With only 10 seconds remaining, the boys from unFOURtunate have done an unreal job of bringing this back to a 20-second game, and they've got a player in number 3, and Ham's already over. This is an AR you don't want to face. He's so sneaky. He sees that player. Can he get the shots in? This is going to be another little bit of ring of roses. He manages to get the shots, but it is going to be backed up, and he plays his life perfectly there, but it is going to be Tay in the corner there who gets the kill. So right now, Detri Hackers get those spawns and are set up quite nicely now to control this warehouse hill.
Oh, it's going to be so unfortunate there for Scooty, who was working himself onto streaks.
How has Aqua not killed that player?
And Aqua's finally got him there after a lot of bullets put in. It feels as though everyone we're watching has put in literally just less than required amounts of bullets to get the kills. Again, another tag comes through, but the trade isn't going to be there as of yet. But Scooty, again, another couple of kills from him. So 1 and 5 to 7 and 6 here. A big resurgence here from Scooty. As, again, nobody currently on the hill. Still 10 seconds remain on this one. And Danny's going to be out the back. Will get the kill, but it won't get a huge amount of time to show for it as we get ready for the P5. And already you can see a lot of gunfights going down over towards that P1 side. Tay's desperately going to try and sneak through the net here of a couple of players. You can't get it, Dave. Big opening kill, and look at the progression that already those players are trying to make up the map ready for P1.
And you've got, you know, this is really mad, but, you know, Detri Hackers, for all their efforts over towards P4, they only got themselves around 13 or 14 seconds time. They were on 81, they come off at 94. They managed to get the kills and push everyone out, so they get P5 control, and those kills are going to be vital. This could be a money kill for them. You spoke about it at the start of the game, how P5 and P1 could be superbly vital to anyone's chances, and right now they've done a great job of defending that. It is going to be number 7 in Tay, pushing right the way up. Dave's trying to get the sneaky shots in. I don't think he realizes that player's there, and again that push is going to come through. Not able to get onto the hill just yet. We are going to see the handgun come out, and Dave is going to make his way over towards that point, and they've managed to get themselves, you know, onto the right side, but this has been a money hill and a half for Detri Hackers.
Yeah, Dave just being a pain is going to open up that first hill and just stop the first wave of pushes being literally instant. And Jackson's going to get a nade straight onto Ezro, so another nade that we see on towards the outside of this P1. Aqua's going to get some shots in alongside his teammates, so the team shots come through. They're able to get the picks, and now can Danny get the picks that he needs to help his team get the break. Aqua's still laying prone over towards his steps, and Ezro's going to go straight in towards the blender as he gets taken down. Aqua just waiting for the right time. Those people in Chow, he is going to spot Tay just go on the transition across the front of him. But now look at Dave making the flank. Can he manage to get a couple of them? There's one for Dave. His teammates, he actually only needs to get 1 kill as his teammates mop up the remaining players. Ezro is still there. I don't think they realise that he's there, and it is going to grant them potentially a big 20 seconds here if Azro, I was going to say Azro, if that's a combination of Alfie and Ezro. If Ezro was not able to get that kill and Alfie got the contest, it might have been big there for unfortunate, because that scrap time puts them quite significantly back in the lead again, perhaps 50 points or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that 50-second lead, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I think if anything, unfortunate have done well to try and keep this the lead from being even worse. This P2 again going to be all important, though. I feel this is kind of like a link kill, so this could be the most vital kill in terms of unfortunate's ability to be able to get back into this game. So a solid hold required. It's not a great start though, as we see that kill feed largely think it is going to be a trade back out though, and a response almost immediately. But you can see slowly but surely those pink arrows break in and get re-control of that P2, and this is going to be a massive battle that the boys in purple are going to need to win, I think, if they want to stay in this. Scooty going off on a 5-speed though, that is all important, especially if they can get the glide. He does get taken down on that 6th kill. It is right now still around and about a 50-second lead, and Dave is going to get there to tie up the remaining 10 seconds of scrap time.
Yeah, Detri Hackers do have the spawns. And you feel if Alfie can contribute a little bit more in terms of kills, this would pretty much be a bang-on even game here. You can see the kind of the contributing factor of Danny at 25 and 15 is really dragging Detri Hackers through the mud at the moment. But now 30 seconds is going to be the deficit they've got inside the hill, and Alfie, big couple of kills come through from him. He is going to be in charge of just watching that back door. They're going to have to keep an eye on their window as well as players flood through. Ezra is going to be one man who gets put straight in towards that kill cam, and now Shotzi with 1, Garland Shotzi with 2, as Danny G is really living up to his name at the moment as he manages to get his 27th kill of the hard point and enables his team to punch straight back in.
Yeah, beautiful play right there. And again, really nice break in defense. And it's something we didn't see out of Detri Hackers in that first Tuscan hardpoint. So they've done probably a much more difficult job on this much larger map. So great play right there, as we can already see those arrows pushing out. I mean, number 5 is going to get taken down. So Ezra with a potentially important gunfight. It does go the way of Dave, though. He was on 18 and 20. He has got himself 45 seconds, but unusually, you know, not the most prolific game from Dave, and that largely might be the reason why there is a 40-second deficit in the way of Detri Hackers. And already you can see these purple arrows set up nicely, and this has been a good opportunity, probably the first time that we've seen the boys in purple manage to get it. But Major, you've got to ask the question, are they a little too aggressive? You can see around the back Jackson making his way to get those spawns, and there's still around about 40 seconds on the clock.
Oh, and Danny again, another couple of free kills, puts him over 30 now, as he chews through Scooty and Aqua, and they have literally just gifted Detri Hackers what could be pretty much 50% of the time. They don't read the spawns out the back of the warehouse. They just push up just that little bit too far, and Vanguard punishes you unless you block some of those spawns, and Alfie's going to get another double kill. It will be Jackson replying with 1 as they try and punch their way back in. Dave's going to get on it just for a split second before Ezro wipes him off of it once again. And they are still winning these engagements here at the moment. And now with 6 seconds remaining, everyone's going to be looking towards the next rotation. But Tate already up on the high ground, looking to try and lock down these lanes, courtesy of this top 3rd position. And now this is a little bit worrying here for unfortunate. They're past the 200-point mark, Detri Hackers, and this is starting to get away with them a little bit as Danny G, 5 in a row now.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice play, though, from Alfie as he comes around the back and manages to get a pick again. Not the most, you know, explosive performance from him. He has got himself some solid time, but, you know, what a time to make up for that. He is going to get pushed by 2 players, though, and that does need that. He needs some support, but you can see the flank coming in from Danny G in the form of Colin Shotzi there. Manages to get important picks over to middle, which gives his team just a little bit more time and edges them ever closer to that. So important. The win they could desperately do with seeing this game off. That game 5 right round the corner, especially if unfortunate can keep control. But Pink Arrows made you time and time again. They've been super accurate, and if anything, they've got more accurate over time, and the strategy's just going away. And you can see over towards fire number 7, Tay is making his way to try and get that P1 control.
Oh no, Scooty needs to go huge here. There's Pink Arrows all around him. He needs to stay alive. There is going to be a nade that lands right next to him. He does a really good job, actually, of just slipping away in the nick of time. You can see now Detri Hackers, they only need 12 seconds to get this one done, and this series will be over. So Scooty still playing his life inside the hill. can see they are just waiting for the right time to strike. Ezro gets one, but again, another team kill comes through from Jackson, and Scooty's going to get a pick. They're going to try and double hit this from the lower side of Secret. Ezro's going to try and maybe get a pick, but no, they hold strong. They managed to get the picks. There's still 25 seconds remaining on this hill. Detri Hackers, are they going to try and break this one final time to maybe make the resurgence and get this map done? Because at the moment, they're not necessarily winning all of the gunfights. In they go. Another team nade comes through again from Detri Hackers, which they are not going to want to see. Carling Shotzi again in Danny G, able to stay alive, but look at the rotation. They are here and ready to go. Those blue arrows, they need to fly.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big fight going down towards middle. It is going to be Aqua that gets that win, 26 and 26, so that balance KD is going to need to go big, and they did this last time. They went absolutely huge in this hill. It is 237 to 241 with Aqua going absolutely ham in the hill. He's read this to perfection. Is he going to get these shots as a player? And middle, he gets another big kill with only 7 seconds remaining. Half those pink arrows flooded in time. It's a big push now coming in from Alfie. That's another big kill. Is the purple in? Is the purple in control? 245, 246. Only 4 seconds needed. Alfie back in on the push. He needs to get the push in. The team kill goes out.
God.
Real performance from unFOURtunate as they take the round 250 to 244. A major sniff up, my brother, because I think we've got a game 5.
Oh my goodness. How on earth have they managed to get that one done? It was so messy towards the end, but they just managed to crawl over the finish line in that one, and some big kills coming through from all the respective players. Danny G's going to be furious with that. He dropped 40 for an L in that map, where if you're looking at just raw kills there, that should not have been an unFOURtunate map win. They just managed to make it scrappy, and Jesus, what an absolute clusterfuck of an end of a map, Pablo, but we get our beloved game 5.
That was a Bakars ending, surely. You just see Alfie just pushing in like on his own, getting picks. Unreal performance from the unFOURtunate. And we get the game that we kind of like talked about at before the launch of the stream even. Major right on cue there with the game 5 prediction. Tuscan search and destroying. The question is, we saw that Tuscan hardpoint go the way quite convincingly of the unFOURtunates, but it's been a mixed bag since then. So I don't even want to call this. This is wild. They were on the precipice of defeat, and the boys from unFOURtunate's come back strong with some crazy Call of Duty.
Well, game 5's here, and if it's anything like game 4, I'll go to bed a very happy man this evening, because we've seen a hell of a lot of Call of Duty action to put us back in at the deep end again with some beloved Vanguard. But yeah, game 5 on Tuscan, and my goodness, I mean, you don't usually see a blowout when it comes to Tuscan Search and Destroy, so it wouldn't surprise me. We've not even seen a round yet, but it wouldn't shock me at all if this goes round 11. To be honest, the way these
my throat's like, I thought the season was over.
Yeah.
Like, what? The season's never over with this passion. Never over. Unreal performance. What a way to end the Vanguard season. Beautiful right there.
Yeah, so I do believe this is the final season of the ACCL Vanguard, and then obviously we've got our off-season stuff, our Valorant stuff will be getting underway fairly shortly as well. But a really good series so far between these two, and hopefully they manage to end it in the way that it's pretty much gone for the most part, in very close proximity. But I'll ask you again, Pabs, are you going with your initial prediction? You can reveal it now if you want,
3-0.
because it's out the window. Yeah.
3-0. Yeah, I'm still sticking to that prediction. It's a 3-0 in anyone's books. It's a tricky one. You know, based on the regain from Detri Hackers, you think, oh, the momentum's with them. But just from that last 10 seconds, I mean, I just think the tails are up and unFOURtunate. I don't know, there's something. I think there's going to be a bit of caution coming out of Detri Hackers, and I think Tuscan is going to reward a player like Dave. I think if he can find a route, if he can be like Ross J and find that route and just get himself behind enemy lines, get a couple of picks, I think it's going to be a weird one for them. But we'll see. It'd be nice to see a sniper as well. It would be nice to see someone pull out a sniper and see if they can get some control down long, or you know, just to shake things up a bit. Either way, if we get a round that we got, was it the round 6 or round 7? I can't remember. If we get another round that's got much entertainment value as that round, add in the Vale and S&D, I will retire happy. Yeah,
we'll see Hams playing Kirby off of one of the curbs on Tuscan this time, rather than on over in the Deutschland. So we'll have to see how this one goes. But yeah, opening rounds going to be important. Might see a cheeky sniper or two. We'll have to wait and see if anyone's really feeling themselves, if they're feeling kind of Cobra Cod-esque, as we're used to seeing him on this one. cause quite a bit of mayhem. But yeah, very 50-50 is this map when it comes to search and destroy. We tend to see a lot of back and forth, a lot of strongholds, and we'll have to wait and see it anyways, as Detri Hackers are going to get us underway in Game 5 in this search and destroy here. And there you go, Danny G. He's got his pint in hand, he's got his sniper in the other, and he's just cleaned out Hams right off the rip.
Yeah, beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see. Lovely bit of sniper action, and just peek that out and you lose your head. So it is going to be 3v3 as we hit that 1 minute mark. We can see shots going out as Scooty gets a big kill on Jackson. And there's only been 2 interactions so far. That is going to force Danny G up into a weird position. He doesn't get the... Does he get the pick? Yeah, he manages to get the pick, but he's traded out almost immediately. And the chase is on. Tay gets a couple of bullets. But is he going to finish him off? Finally finishes off Scooty. And it's going to be a 1v1 major of 47 seconds. Tay takes on Alfie.
Oh, Alfie got the itchy trigger finger. He wasn't able to finalise the kill. And now Tay has bomb. Where's he going to run it? A or B. Looks as though he's sizing himself up to maybe take this bomb over towards 8. Oh, maybe he's just making me eat my words. He's just going to check everything down towards that well side of the map. With 25 seconds, he's got to be quick. I think Alfie might spot him here. Yeah, Alfie's... Oh, no, never mind. He gets the info that he's there, so he's just got to try and play this smart. Tate is just going to try and head glitch the bomb. He will get it down. Alfie, the stun check will give him the info that he needs. But now he's got to be careful not to try and let this round get away from him. He has had a couple of opportunities now to maybe get this done.
What?
And now ring around the rosy they go. They go their separate ways. They reunite down long. And I think both of them have SMGs here, so neither of them want to really take that gunfight. Alfie's got to be quick, though, here. He's running out of time very, very quickly. And with 20 seconds left, he's going up top. He might have timed this well. And Alfie with a really big kill and a really big round to get his boys underway. 1-0 up.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice play. Clever play from Alfie in the end. A little bit fortunate as he pushes back through Church and manages to get the jump over towards Tay, and that's going to be a nice early round. But again, it comes off the back of a first blood going the way of Detri Hackers. So are we going to see that kind of thing again, where we see, you know, regardless of first blood, just that patience and that little bit of ingenuity starting to pay dividends for the team that starts off kind of on the back foot? Again, 1-0, but Major, if we do recall, it was 1-0 to start the previous S&D. So do expect Detri Hackers to start to pick up in terms of their accuracy, in terms of their thought process in the midst of this S&D.
Yeah, and Danny's going to have absolutely nothing to work from down that side, because it is very much a blue wave over towards this B site. Tay has tucked himself in the corner. He's going to have to wait, though, for those players to engage. Here they come. Alfie's going to be the man with the short straw. They're going to have to be pretty quick, though, because Jackson's going to be here, and it's going to be an actual teammate that comes through from Scooty, so his teammates are going to give him an earful for that one. Jackson's going to get a pick as well. He gets a second to manage to take down Scooty as well, and now Dave, all alone, needs a clutch. I'm pretty sure he's been spotted now. Even Dave, with his aggression and his movement, is going to struggle to get out of that one. He's not going to be able to, and Detri Hackers take the round back.
Yeah, kind of predictable, I guess, to a certain extent. We saw this in the previous S&D, this kind of ping-pong back and forth as attacking rounds become difficult to try and control. So, again, I think we're going to see the team that takes that little advantage, who manages to get bombed down and protect it, potentially going to be that winning side. Right now, 1-1. And again, we're seeing, you know, Ezro now on the donut. So play again, we know, went big in the previous S&D, so expecting to put up some more numbers. We expect a little bit more out of both Dave and Aquilini. We thought his aggression might be rewarded, but he's got to find those correct routes, and right now just not able to do it. And you can see Danny G again looking to get a pick, but you can see on the mini-map, guys, he's not going to get any view right there. And that's going to be Alfie with a beautiful push through mid. And again, no call out. Jackson watching the wrong angle. He does manage to get a pick to tie things up. He's going to just watch his behind, just in case he does get tagged up in the front. That is Major going to push him out towards back. And you can see the geography already taken up by those purple arrows as we hit that 50-second mark.
Yeah, so Danny, when is he going to try and plant the bomb here? Oh, he's got to try and stay alive here, Jackson. There's 2 players here. He does not want to take this gunfight. He is out of there as he dips all the way to the back of the spawn. Meanwhile, the bomb might potentially be going down shortly. Danny's actually going to think better of it. But meanwhile, Jackson just needs help in the back here. He's desperately trying to stay alive. Unfortunately, the help comes too little too late, as he will fall. Ezro is not going to be nearby for the trade. And Alfie's still in middle map here. I don't think they've spotted him. They will now, though. Surely he's going to be dead to rights. He is so trapped. Ezro finalizes that kill. They are regaining on this round, as Ezro with some really clean shots there to take Scooty down. Now sees Dave, last one up, 1 versus 2.
So we did say he's kind of played who will get a couple of picks, and he manages to bring himself back to a positive KD. The bomb has gone down towards B, so The question is Dave going to potentially look to try and pick up an AR, or is he going to look? He does get tagged up, so information has been gathered, and Danny G rather sensibly looks to back up. But again, it is going to have to be close quarters if he is going to hold on to this SMG. So big picks required. His reactions are right in there as he drops
Ooh.
Danny G, leaving Ezro last alive, but only 20 odd seconds left on the clock, and you can see how far away Ezro decides to back up. 14 seconds on the clock. I do think Dave's looking for the kill, potentially not looking for the defuse. He's right now only on a 2 streak, so it's going to be a pretty easy kill for Detri Hackers. And more importantly, that is an early attacking round win. Are we going to see them be able to capitalize like they did in the previous Tuscan S&D, Berlin S&D on this, and maybe see this series out?
Yeah, so two rounds in a row for the boys of Detri Hackers. Now sees them in the lead. Ezro on a 3 streak. Is Danny still rocking that sniper? I do believe he is, as he has that wonderful purple pistol out. And now first blood going to be all important. Where is Danny going to try and play this from? He's going to play it in middle map here. And Dave, whoa, bullet whizzes straight over his forehead. Ezra's managed to push up towards this right-hand side of P1, and he might manage to catch Scooty out here. So there's a pick for him. Alfie's going to be right next to him for the trade. Is he going to win the gunfight? He's going to win one. At least he's able to finalize that one before he does get subsequently traded out. Instantly, Aqua, though, playing it smart, watching the angle, manages to make it a 2 versus 2. And now this is the point where you think, right, okay, what do we do? Do we call the bluff? Do we take it A, or do we wrap round to B?
Yeah, I think, they've got to at least do this together. More importantly, they're going to need to be able to not just get the trade if one of them falls, but just be close enough to be able to get bomb immediately. With only 48 seconds on the clock, time is going to be an issue. So a nice plant going down from Hams. And of course, you can see how patient Tay and Jackson are being. They are waiting for that moment to maybe turn things around. And I think that obviously number 5 got some information there. He gets tagged up. It is going to leave number 7 in Hams last alive in a 1v2. That time is ticking. You expect to push any second. You can see the pinch starting to come in. Number 3, he's just going to get some shots out. He's going to play his life really, really well and take it down with 25 seconds remaining. And that was a beautiful piece of play towards mid. I'm sure Hams is not going to appreciate us playing that back to him.
He has been absolutely fried in that one. I thought he was dead to rights. He put maybe 3-4 bullets in him, slid around with the pistol, and he got absolutely melted by Tay in that one. So Detri Hackers again. Another round on the board. He just absolutely fries him. I don't think there was team shots in that one, unless I'm mistaken. But either way, he dropped so quickly. Maybe there was. Maybe that's what it was. Because, my God, he died quickly. But now, the 2-round advantage sees unFOURtunate leaning on this defensive round here. Just to try and hold this one up in the air a little bit. Because they are starting to fall away from it. So over towards long. Danny G is going to be here. This time, though, with an assault rifle rather than a sniper. They are getting quite a lot of control over towards the A site. And Dave, first blood onto Jackson. Really important pick. It looks as though Tay's going to try and get this bomb down. He's going to get he's spotted in mid. And the bullets there from Alfie just whipping past him. He does have a teammate, Ezro, nearby. But you feel they've got to try and take Alfie out of this position if they're going to try and get bombed down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a bit of time in there. Alfie, though, is potentially going to get pushed, and he decides not to check his back, Ezro, with a pretty easy kill. But that's going to be an instant response as well, coming out to Scooty as he takes down Tay. And you can see this as they push right the way through towards back church, and bomb is going to be down over towards that kind of far end of view. They're going to decide to double back, and they are going to grab that bomb. But you can see, again, almost the identical position to the previous round. And unfortunately, it is going to need to try and get a good, solid defense. This is a 2-round buffer right now for Detri Hackers. They've done well on the previous attack and premise. They're pushing right the way through B, but you can see just set up quite nicely for either an A or B transition. That's a big kill right there. The Scooty drops it, makes it a 1v2, and that's going to be a pretty easy one for unFOURtunate as they bring that back to a 1-round deficit and a superbly important defense. But Major, the big question is, can unFOURtunate get an attacking round under their belt? I don't think it's anything. It's something that they've been able to do thus far.
Yeah, it feels as though they're kind of playing for the pick. They're playing for the opening kind of engagement to go in their favour, and at the moment it's just not really been happening. So we'll have to wait and see here if round number 6 is going to bless them. Aqua struggling just a little bit at 1 and 4, and his teammates very consistent across the board, all currently sitting at 4 and 4. So looks as though A is going to be a breeding ground for potential deaths here. Danny's got the sniper out. Aqua's laying prone. If he peeks this, there you go. See you later, buddy. I know Hams loves getting a new trim. He's got a fresh one there as Danny cleans him straight out of that one. Alfie will manage to get a pick, so it is now a 2 versus 2, but that bomb Dropped over towards the field side. It's going to be really awkward, but Dave out the back. Oh, that's why you run dead silence,
Oh,
Dave. You've been
slide,
soundhawed. An
slide.
absolute treat in that one. And now Alfie sees himself in a 1 versus 2.
I mean, you can't even accuse them of being sound hoard. Just two really noisy slides over towards Backchurch. Again, just looking to use that pace, and I don't think he's realised there's a player there, and he just wants to be able to get round and just showing that aggression. But this is an opportunity now for Alfie potentially. Again, is he gonna get some information? The timer is not his friend right there, and Detri Hackers take another round. And again, it's an attacking round that lets unfortunates down. That 2-round buffer back in place, and just the timing not perfect there. Jackson able to see down and get those picks. But again, unfortunates just, this is the curse of the pickup team. S&D not going to be their friend. And that attacking round on Tuscan proven to be, very, very difficult, and a curse that's not easy to break.
So this is probably the do or die round here, I think, for Unfortunate. They got to, again, hold strong on the defensive side. Can they do it here in round number 7? There's going to be a lot of nades being lobbed straight over towards middle map. Alfie, again, is going to go straight in, but he's going to lose that engagement. And now he's looking for trades to come from teammates. Dave is going to manage to grab one. Ezro, though, sliding out onto the heady. Dave's a little bit trapped here. He's going to need to try and back up, but there's going to be a man in towards top of fire, and he's actually managed to slip away as Scooty gets a pick as well. So now 3 versus 2 in favour of Unfortunate. They don't maybe know that Jackson has slipped through the net here, though Scooty is watching over towards this general direction, just checking it from time to time. But Jackson with bomb is going to get in towards Church. Scooty might get some god timing here. Did he manage to spot that player? I don't believe he did, so they will get in towards Church. They've got a lot of control on the high ground here, but Scooty's just going to manage to pick up yet another kill. Ezro now, last man up, needs the 1 versus 3.
Yeah, it's a big one. I can't believe Jackson managed to get bullets. The reaction shots are incredible from Jackson, but not enough. And unfortunately, get a very important round. But again, Major, the ball is going to be straight back in their court. Can they win that all-important attacking round to tie things up? And more importantly, potentially to win the whole series, they're going to need to do it twice. And that's going to be such a big improvement required. Now, when you've got a player like Dave, who's just can go so rogue, and when you've got a player like Aquilini who's on 1 and 5 hams, what is going down? Are they got the firepower in this S&D to do it? Detri Hackers looking very, very solid, but the attack is going to be pushed over towards that A-bomb site with all players ready to be seen by Danny G's beautiful sniper.
Yeah, Danny still watching down long, but this time with the assault rifle.
Oh,
they are going to maybe try and bait out a lot of positioning, because they threw a lot of nades and tacticals over towards that A site. Whether or not that's just a play to try and make the bait, but you can see that Detri Hackers, they've got no info over towards the A point as of yet, so surely they're going to start to make the assumption that players are going to be over towards the B site. Jackson's going to be watching the crosshair. This is a big engagement. Aqua shots in, backs him up at least. So they will get info that this bomb is more than likely going to be headed over towards this B site. Aqua, though, he's going out the back. He's got to be careful not to drop the bomb out here, because if he loses it there, it's going to be in a really precarious position. But Scooty, again, another important pick comes through from him to make it now a one-man advantage. They've got to be careful of Ezro, though, on the flank. He's going all the way around. Aqua gets one as well. And Dave is watching this pinch. Ezro's surely dead to rights. And now this round's looking good, and it is.
Finally, an attacking round on the board for Unfortunate, who were going to tie things up to 4-all. Major, you did say that this potentially had the potential to go to that round 11. We aren't quite there yet. It is going to be round 9 as we head into parity for a piece. And the one thing we didn't expect out of the Unfortunates was a solid attacking round and patient play coming out of Dave, taking up the rear and waiting for that player to push through, gets the kill, and that's going to tie things up. Nice plays. More importantly, though, Aqua off the blocks. But kind of gone under the radar, Major, on a 5 streak, and 10 and 5 right now is Scooty having an absolutely world star performance so far.
Dave's got really aggressive again. They've got to be careful not to get pinched in here. Number 4. Look at number 4. Jackson, he's got all the way out the back. Scooty's not going to have any idea about this, as he just catches him completely off guard. And Jackson chews through 2 players in quick succession. And now Aqua is going to be the last man up. Is he going to spot the bomb planter? He won't. Bomb goes down at A. Aqua's going to have to try and work some magic here. He flies straight around the corner. Can't win the gunfight. Detri Hackers with a very, very clean round to put them 1 round away from progressing through to winners round 2.
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Jackson. Your son is for real. This is incredible play from him, getting it into the back and getting 2 picks. Tay, in the end, going to see that round out, and it is going to be match point for Detri Hackers, who've had somewhat of a resurgence since that Tuscan S&D. That Tuscan hardpoint are long in the memory now. Huge plays, regardless of the heroics coming out of Scooty on 10 and 6. That team across the board in pink. So on a 5 and 6, 6 and 6 for Shotzi and his Danny G, and 7 and 6 and 7 and 5 respectively for Tay and Jackson. Big plays coming out of each player at different times. It is a more unusual place to be taken up with the sniper, but again, we can see the caution now coming out of unFOURtunate as they want to tie things up, Major. Huge plays required, and you've got to look to Aquilini potentially at 2 and 7, and he is unfortunately going to say goodbye. And hopefully, his rest of his team can take him to that round 11.
Oh, Dave's got a big moment here. Dave can't win the engagement, so now it's all on Scooty. Needs the 1 versus 3. He's getting tagged up. He's desperately looking to try and back up here. But now he's got to try and retrieve the bomb. He's got to try and plant it, or he's got to try and clear out these last 3 remaining players. Ezro staring down long. These shots need to be good. Has Ezro spotted him? He hasn't, but they know where he is now. Ezro just playing his life. Oh, and Scooty manages to get the last bullet in straight on the forehead. So it is a little bit more achievable now. 1 versus 2. Jackson, though, in the top of church. We know how difficult this gunfight is to win. Is he going to win it? Oh, my God. Scooty wins another one. So now it's a 1 versus 1. But is the trade going to be there? Yes, it is. And Detri Hackers, I'll tell you what, it got a little bit runny bump, but they get it over the line. They take the map 6-4. They take the series 3-2. And they will progress through to winners round 2.
Fantastic work in the end, and a nice bit of composure coming out of the team in pink. So Tay Jackson and Danny G. Hats off for an impressive performance. Everyone contributing strongly, which is what you need. Unfortunate, we're unfortunate in the end. The pickup side just not able to see the strategies out in the end, which is what you would kind of expect. But after an impressive map 1 performance and an even more impressive resurgence in map 4, it is still going to be Detri Hackers. Solid in Berlin Search Industry, solid in Berlin Control, and in the end, just too strong in Tuscan S and D. Great performance right there.
Yeah, nice work from those boys. So they are going to get it done in the 5 maps. Just quickly, let us know, GGs. They are going to progress through in towards that winners round 2 game as I try and sort out the old replay clipperoonies for you guys. So just confirmation of the scores on your screen and some replays to go with it. So GG's there to both of the respective teams. Detri Hackers are going to progress through. Unfortunate, they're down, but they're not out. They're just going to have to try and make the run through the losers bracket. So we'll have to wait and see how that one unfolds for them. But a really good performance across the board from both respective teams. Unfortunately, obviously a team that was kind of stitched together right at the last minute. I know Aqua's not played the game in an absolute eternity. So yeah, GG's there to both respective teams. Scooty, obviously, as well. Shout out to him. He's come in last minute as well and put up some really big numbers. But it is going to be Detri Hackers that will progress through. And you guys know the drill by now. We are just going to quickly have a look to see if there is anyone that we can raid and show some love to. Who's currently streaming? Doesn't really look like anyone's streaming, to be honest. If anyone's got anyone they would like us to host, we can quickly do it, but it doesn't look as though anyone notable is currently streaming at the moment. But if you guys do know somebody that we haven't currently raided, give us a shout and we'll be sure to do it. But in the meantime, guys, that is going to be it from myself and Pablito for the evening. Thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. Tell you what, the aircon unit has done me absolute wonders this evening. No longer sweating.
Stop rubbing it in, man.
Yeah, sorry, but I had to get it in there. But yeah, that is going to be it from us this evening, guys. And we hopefully will be back sooner rather than later. I believe Friday it's Mr. Smooge and his Katana roster have a game, so we'll probably be covering that one. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. That is going to be it from us this evening. And we will see you on the flip side for some more Call of Duty action. Cheers, guys. See you later.